welcome back to the episode of Stories of Horror. Another episode we dive into the mysteries and the unknowns of the world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Without further ado, hit the intro. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Stories of Horror. I'm your host, the Arsenal DeWayland Butler, co-creator of New Genesis, and this is episode, I believe, 25. Now, I had the episodes misplaced because I went back to some past videos and I seen that we had 221s. I was like, okay, I messed up. So this should be episode 25. If I'm wrong again, that'd be messed up. But I think it should be 25 because 24 was the last episode, which was a little late, about the Area 51. That one was uploaded on Saturday, and I think I had the numbers misplaced. I went back and checked and seen. I was like, oh, I had these misplaced. So this should be episode 25 right here. And today's episode, by the title, you already seen what we're discussing. Are reptilians real? As you guys know, well, what I know initially from reptilians or lizard people, that they're supposed to be some type of shape-shifting like creature or alien or something that come to take, like, you know, to shapeshift to human form and take over like that slowly and take over society. That's kind of where the conspiracy theory came from. When you say it out loud, it sounds a little absurd, it sounds a little crazy, but there's a lot of people who kind of like believe this theory, and a lot of people who have like claim to see they have evidence of this theory or some sort of that type of stuff in this theory. So we're gonna dive into some of the things about the reptilian people and the lizard people. We're gonna dive into some of that stuff and the folklore around it and all the things around it. So let's get into it right now. Also go by names of reptoids and lizard people, was set to come to Earth and be a reptilian like humanoid like being and come to take over society. The idea of reptilians was popularized by David Icke, a conspiracy theorist who claimed that a shape-shifting reptile-like alien came to control Earth by taking on human form and gaining political power to manipulate human societies. Icke has stated on multiple occasions that many world leaders are possessed or are being possessed by so-called reptilians. According to British conspiracy theorist David Icke, who published a book called The Biggest Secret Tall Blood Drinking back in 1989, he claimed that shape-shifting reptilian humanoids from the Alpha Draconian star system are now hiding in underground bases and are a force behind the worldwide conspiracy against humanity. He contends that most of the world's ancient and modern leaders are related to these reptilians, including a lot of different people in the royal family, people in the Bush family, and etc. Icke's conspiracy theories now have supporters in up to 47 countries around the world, and he has given lectures to crowds of 1,000 about these topics and these theories. A lot of other cultures that have something similar to reptilians or lizard people, a lot of different cultures have something that's similar to it in their folklore. You know how the folklore legend goes. It kind of like go out through history, and it kind of starts off from a time ago, and it spreads and kind of things change by different historians, like things they made up and artifacts and by things in the past, and believing all the different folklore that happened. One of them is Boreas, the Greek god of the cold north wind. He's supposed to be a winged man, sometimes with serpents instead of feet. Then you have Ceracrops, a mythical half snake, half man. Chayak, a rain god with a human body showing reptilian or amphibian scales with a non-human head and fangs and long like nose. You got dragon kings, creatures from Chinese mythology, sometimes depicted as reptilian humanoids. You also got Fuzi, serpent-like figure, half/man. Glycon, a snake god who has the head of a man. The Gorgons, sisters in the Greek mythology, who had serpents for hair, kind of like Medusa a little bit. Shenlong, a Chinese dragon thunder god depicted with a human head and a dragon's body. Serpent, an entity from the Genesis creation narrative, occasionally depicted with legs and sometimes identified with Satan, though his representation has been both male and female. And you also got many other ones too, like Typhon, the father of all monsters in Greek mythology, had 100 snake heads, or was a man from the waist up and a mass of seething vipers from the waist down. And Wadjet, a pre-dynastic snake goddess of Lower Egypt, sometimes depicted as a half snake, half woman. There was many different cultures that had something that kind of similar to the reptilians theory, or similar to like the folklore around it. It has something like kind of similarities that kind of like half man, half serpent, or half man, half reptile, or shape-shifting man to a reptile or humanoid like creature, kind of like the skinwalkers and stuff, taking human form, but a creature in disguise or something. There's a lot of those that happen back in the time, like the folklore around it, and some many around different cultures. So as you've seen, there's a lot of different cultures around the world who have something similar. Remember the old videos we mentioned about the skinwalkers, the Wendigos, the different cultures that viewed it differently and named it something differently like that. They all had a different name for it, but it's something similar and kind of referencing the same thing. Now this can be kind of the line of different things that kind of like bring in like the Greek god lore, folklore like that into it a little bit, and then some people bring in like aliens into it, so it's kind of like a mixture of a lot of different things, a lot of different cultures and stuff. And I know there's a percentage of people that actually believe this theory. I know back in 2013 when they did the little thing, when it was kind of like when it was a high point, when they were saying that, oh, reptilian people, lizard people, watch out for them and stuff like that. There's a big point back in 2012, 2013. David Icke, I might be saying his name wrong. I don't know if it's Ike or Ike, but I think it's David Icke. He had a lot. He was on the news a lot, talking about different things. We've seen him, his little series he had on Vice. He was talking about different things about the reptilian people and saying that Barack Obama was a shapeshifter. He's a Bush family was a shapeshifter. Queen Elizabeth and etc. A lot of different people was shapeshifters, and they was like just pretending to be human and stuff. And I think it said about 4% of the voters believed in his theory like that. So out of the people, so about thousands of people believed in his theory and stuff. Now out loud, it do sound absurd like that. We've seen a lot of different like people say crazy things throughout the world. A lot of conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories, like I mentioned before, is always going to be another like question. Always a question and a question after a question, because somebody can ask you, is this real? Be like, yes. Be like, how you know it's real? Well, because I sound like this. How you know that's true? How you know that is that? What is that? What, like, you just keep falling holes and holes, because like it's a theory. It's a conspiracy theory. It's a theory of like you just going around asking questions and like that, and just like looking for things. Because once you find out if it's real, then it's not a conspiracy theory anymore, because it becomes legitimate. Like that conspiracy theory is kind of like it's in between like that. You kind of like in limbo. You don't know if it's certain or if it's not. And it's a lot of different things around too. You watch videos of different stuff. You see people like, maybe like they said, people's eyes was twitching and like maybe showing a lizard-like thing or transformation. It could be a glare from the light, or it can just be something else. I don't know if lizard people are real or not. But like I mentioned before on this channel, never rule anything out. When we're doing this series, we always go through some different things and the details about the things, and just try to find like some common ground with both sides and stuff with some of the things. But there's a lot of instances with like some like celebrities, you see things like Lady Gaga, she would say she's not human, but like maybe like people use it as like a metaphor, like saying that I'm on a different level, I'm not human. Like he's been like kind of like a basketball player, like he's been performing at a high level. He's been playing for 45 minutes. He's not human. He's going out there. They're saying like you kind of like you just like it's basically they're saying like you like superb, like you super or something. But sometimes when people say things, you never take it like the literal what it says. Like I came in the room and I said that I had superpowers, I can fly. You probably think I'm crazy, but like you can't fly like that. So it sounds too absurd to believe. And somebody saying that there's shapeshifter reptiles around the world, and somebody said that out loud, be like, look at this man, he's talking about some shapeshifter reptiles like around the world, really? Like that. But it sounds too absurd to believe, and maybe that's the case to kind of keep it covered up. Remember, we see a lot of people talking about the cloning and stuff. Might discuss that on the channel as well. Remember Kevin Hart, when he got in a car crash, he said that he came out, he said the old Kevin Hart died, something like that. He said my old self died. He said something like that, like kind of like talking like that. And people maybe thought maybe he just kind of using like a simile or a metaphor that's saying like, it's like kind of like comparing the two, like him breaking off from the past or something. Or he could be talking literal. You never know exactly. I remember that rapper that came out and said he was in a cloning type of facility and he escaped and he was a clone or something like that. He was saying it fast and not hesitation. People look at him initially, you might say he's crazy. Because it sounds so absurd like that. It sounds so crazy. It sounds so like ridiculous and sound over exaggerated and stuff. So you will not think it's true. But what if that's kind of like the cover up, saying like, I am a shapeshifter. Like some people saying like, I think the guy said that before too. I am a shapeshifter. Oh yeah, that's cool. Like that, and laughing and stuff like that. But what if she actually just telling you what she is like that. And it's just like, it sounds so absurd to actually believe that happening, because you've seen it in movies, like, shapeshifter in the real life, in the movies and stuff, but we haven't discovered everything in the world. So you're telling me there's life form in our world, and all the other planets around and solar systems and different galaxies, there's no life form in those worlds, and they don't have technology ahead of us? And how do we know we don't have technology ahead of our time already, and it's just like covered up from you like that? You don't know everything in the world. I remember I mentioned before about the ocean and stuff. One has discovered about 4% or 5% of the ocean, so there's a lot of things down there you don't know either, and things around the world and stuff that you don't know. If dinosaurs existed, who's to say there's not any other type of creatures or animals that wasn't identified yet that existed? You never know like that. They may be already extinct, or they may be still among us like that. So you never know fully, so you can never like rule anything out completely. And in this situation, like the channel, I always go probably, we always do like a percentage of like every video and say like, oh, I'm this amount of percent certain that this is real and not real. Right now, for this, I'll probably say 50-50. I just keep it indecisive. I just keep it in between like that and stay neutral like that, because it sounds absurd like that. It sounds absurd, but I always learned that, like, especially when I was in speech class and doing debate, in speech class like that, when they have us like do counter arguments, when you're trying to defend a topic or defend something, you always step on the other side. You step on the other side and see it from their point of view. So I can't just be like, it sounds absurd, it sounds crazy. I mean, they sound crazy. There's some crazy people, ridiculous people, they stupid people, they believe that. Or you gotta step into the other side of the other person, like step in their shoes a little bit, and then see it from their point of view, and then see it from the other side like that. You'd be like, well, that is true. If someone was to say that their parents was a vampire, no one would believe them, because they'd be like, it sounds ridiculous. But maybe that's the purpose. Like, it sounds so ridiculous, so it's too hard to believe, so it keeps you from ever believing it and wondering. It keeps it hidden. So maybe that is the purpose. So you never know like that. So you always gotta look in between and never want to be 100% certain on anything like that. But it's really all I got for this video today, guys. The next video probably gonna discuss I'm trying to see, either it's this case, this hunting case that happened back in the past like that. I'll probably discuss that, or I might do like some of the creepiest things caught on live television. That might be a good one too. So either one of those, I might do both of them and just do a double upload like that day. So you never know like that, depending on how I feel. But I see you guys next time on the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go watch the previous one, the Area 51 one, which was episode 24. This is episode 25 now. And I'm supposed to be doing something special when we get to episode 25. But since I got kind of lost track a little bit, I might just save it for episode 30 like that. So I do like 30 episode, I might do something special like that. So just stay tuned for that. But I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.